Welcome to another episode of Hoops Junction, where hoops meets hoopla. Today we're going to be talking about the legitimacy of the Golden State Warriors championship. Is it legitimate? Did the Warriors get lucky? Because Cleveland Love went down, Kyrie Irving went down, the reason they won the NBA championship? Did they get lucky just to even get to the finals? If they face the Clippers or the Spurs, will we be listening to revisionist history? And my answer to all of this is no, it was not luck. The Warriors won their title fair and square. It was legitimate how they defeated everyone they faced. Stephen Curry recently came out with a statement saying that it's not his fault that they were healthy. And it's true. The thing that people have to understand is you can't base someone else's success on hypotheticals. You can't say if so-and-so played, we'll have a different outcome. You can say that you feel that there will be a different outcome, but there's no way that you can prove that. It's just all opinion-based. It's just how you feel. It's your gut feeling. You know, I'll rewind you to 2011, the NBA Finals. Dallas Mavericks playing the Miami Heat. LeBron James, healthy. Dwayne Wade, healthy. Chris Bosh, healthy. Everybody thought that they were going to defeat Dallas in commanding fashion. And they had a 2-1 lead over Dallas. And what happened? Dallas won the NBA Finals. They won the championship. Now, are you going to tell me, well, if Wade was healthy or they were healthy, what happened? There's no way to account for every little thing that takes place in the game of basketball. There's no way to account for the nerves. There's no way to account for injuries. There's no way to account for health. All you can account for is what it is and what took place. What took place? The Warriors swept the Pelicans. The Warriors were down 2-1 to the Grizzlies despite the Michael Conley injury. Despite the injury, they were down 2-1 and ran off 3 straight games and won. They were down. No, they weren't down to the Rockets. They whooped the Rockets easily, handily, 4-1. And they were down to Cleveland in the NBA Finals. No Love, no Kyrie. Came back and won. So is it legitimate? Yes. It doesn't matter who was there, who played, who didn't play. All we could tell you is the results. And the results show that they won fair and square. There's no luck. Kyrie Irving was injured since the Bulls series. Were the Cavaliers still able to beat the Bulls? Yes. Kevin Love didn't even play that. Yes, they were able to beat them. So all of this talk about luck is just it's sour grapes. It sounds like a whole bunch of whining. It's sad. It's really sad because people think that health automatically means this team could beat that team, and that's the furthest thing from the truth. And when Doc Rivers said that, oh well, you gotta have luck to come out of the West. You know, look at the Golden State Warriors. They didn't have to play us or the Spurs. You played the Spurs, did you not? Your team defeated the Spurs, did you not? So how come you did not go ahead and win the NBA championship? Oh, I forgot. You guys collapsed. You had a 3-1 lead. You lost a 20-point lead with James Harden on the bench. And you want to talk about the Warriors being lucky? It's just comedy to me. It's straight up comedy. You cannot say that the Warriors were lucky and you were not. I mean, you were probably just lucky that shot that Chris Paul shot at the end of the game went in. If that's the case, if you want to say stuff is luck and this, it's execution. It's execution and doing what you have to do to win. It doesn't matter who's on the floor. It's execution. You know, like in 2000 when Shaq fouled out and the Lakers played the Pacers and they were going to overtime, people could easily say, well, you know, the Lakers are unlucky because Shaq fouled out and now they're not going to be able to beat Indiana in Indiana in an overtime game. What happened? Kobe showed up, won the game. It's not luck. What the Warriors did was not luck. They won 67 games. They whooped everybody that they faced. Even when they were down 2-1, they came back and won in commanding fashion. That's not luck. It would be a shame if they won 67 games and did not win the NBA championship. That's like the Heat when they won back-to-back championships. That second year they went back-to-back. You remember they had that string of they won like 30 games in a row, and they had the best record in the league. It would be a shame if they did not win the championship, and they almost did not win the championship. If it wasn't for a favorable bounce and a Ray Allen 3 to tie the game, they wouldn't have won. And I'm not gonna call that luck either. That's just favorable bounce. It's execution. Those things happen. Things happen, and now how are you gonna deal with them? Because you got to remember, even though Ray Allen hit that shot for the Heat and they won that overtime game, they had to win Game 7. So there's no excuses here. I'm sick and tired of if so and so was here, if Kyrie was here, or Love was playing, they definitely would have won hands down. I mean, how can you prove that? How can you prove that Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love would have a LeBron-esque 2011 Finals at the end of the day? How could you not prove that? How could you prove that? You can't. These are things that you can't account for. All you can see is what you have in front of you and what the result is. Sour grapes. And like Doc Rivers saying that's a slap in the face. Your team, you beat the Spurs. You were up 3-1 against the Rockets. What are you going to call yourself, unlucky? Or just, you guys just lost it? There's nothing unlucky about that. Your team played horribly down the stretch, and there's nothing lucky about the Rockets getting to the Western Conference Finals. Because when they got there, what happened? They got smacked around. It doesn't matter if Dwight Howard was battling through this, he was battling through that. He was battling through the same thing, and they beat the Clippers. So what's the excuse there for the Rockets? People need to stop using excuses. They need to stop whining. They need to stop saying if so-and-so did this, if so-and-so did that. None of that matters. All that matters is what took place. And what the Warriors did was legitimate. They were down 2-1 to the Cleveland Cavaliers. See, the thing that people don't like to mention is when the Cavaliers were up 2-1, all they were doing was singing the praises of LeBron James. Nobody really factored. Nobody even really said, like, I believe the Warriors could come back from being down 2-1. Everybody pretty much buried the Warriors. They were saying that Dellavedova was locking up Curry. They're saying that LeBron is controlling the game, but his isolation is game. They were saying that, Mozgov was a factor. Everything was a factor. But guess what happened? The Warriors did a little adjusting, and they came back and won the series. You could say that LeBron was tired. They didn't have Love. They didn't have Irving, which is true. And I think it would have been a more interesting series. I think it could have went 7 games maybe if they were there. I think. But I can't prove it. Just like when certain people say, oh, if they were there, they would have won the championship. Can't prove that. It's just what you think. Because at the end of the day, even when people are healthy or not healthy, that doesn't determine you win a championship. 2011, the Heat were completely healthy. They lost to the Mavericks. 2012, Dwayne Wade was on a bum knee, and the Heat still won a championship. So there's no telling. It's just your opinion. So you guys got to cut the Warriors some slack, because now I see Curry, he's getting a little teed off, and like they call him a babyface assassin, yada yada yada. The guy's a hard worker. And the thing you don't want to do is somebody that does hard work. You don't want to minimize their accolades, because they will use that as fuel every day. Somebody that works hard. The kid wasn't even drafted high. You know what I'm saying? Like they had so much to go against them. There was the factor of nepotism. His dad being in the league. His size, him having to change his game. The guy wins the MVP, and he wins the NBA Finals. And you guys want to say he was lucky after all the hard work he's put in? So you know what I say to you guys? All of this talk about they were lucky, this happened, they didn't play the Spurs, they didn't play this, they didn't play that. You're gonna have to really watch your words. Gonna have to watch your words, man. You're probably gonna be eating them. Because if the Warriors win again this upcoming season, what's gonna be an excuse then? I'm waiting. And that's the thing, man. You just can't do that. All this sour grapes coming from grown men, Doc Rivers saying what he said, that's crazy. You need a little luck. You need luck like the Warriors had. What luck? You were up 3-1. What luck? It's called execution. It's called you need somebody that could shoot. It calls you need somebody that could defend. You need players that can play without being told what to do. It's called you need a deeper rotation in terms of the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's called when you're up 2-1 and you're at your home court, you need to go ahead and bury them 3-1. Cavaliers and the Grizzlies had an opportunity and they weren't able to do so. That's what it's called. It's not luck. It's execution. And what the Warriors did was legitimate. It's very disturbing that we're living in a world of hypotheticals. Everything is a hypothetical. Well, if this happened, they would have done. Even when the Lakers won their second championship in 2010, back-to-back with Kobe and Gasol, somebody actually had the nerve to say, if Kendrick Perkins was there, the Celtics would have won. Kendrick Perkins was averaging maybe 4 points a game. What was he going to do? Oh, he's a defensive anchor, yada, yada, yada. What was he going to do? If you don't recall, in that Game 7, the Celtics had a 13-point lead in the third quarter. They went on a drought from the end of the third quarter all the way down to the fourth quarter. It's not luck, ladies and gentlemen. All it is execution. Execution and playing who's in front of you. The Warriors played who's in front of them. They beat them fair and square. There was no cheating. Only cheating that was there was Stephen Curry knocking down all those threes on your head. That's all. That's only cheating that there was there. All those games LeBron was going off and they were winning. I mean, how come nobody said, well, Cleveland's lucky to win? Cleveland's lucky to be up 2-1. Nobody ever said that Cleveland was lucky to be up 2-1. Never. They only said that LeBron was so great. They said that the way he controlled the game is the reason why the Cavaliers are up. But guess what? Warriors took back control and they won the series. You got to stop hating. I think at the end of the day, it's just hate. It's just hate, jealousy, and envy. Because if the Warriors would have played the Clippers, they would have spanked them, hands down. They beat them 3-1 last season, and the season before that they swept the season series. So I don't even know why Doc would even open his mouth about that. Spurs, I think it would have been an interesting series, and the Spurs are the only team besides the Bulls to beat them on their home court. But there's no way for me to really prove anything because they're 1-2 against the Spurs. But if the Warriors were still playing at the high level that they were playing at, I don't think the Spurs would have an answer for that either. I mean, the things that the Warriors were doing, they had Stephen Curry hitting threes, Draymond Green hitting threes, Andre Iguodala hitting threes. Their bench was firing on all cylinders. And it just so happened when they got to the finals, they forgot how good they were. And then once Steve Kerr told them they're too good to be playing like this, they stepped up their game. It's just, you got to stop being disrespectful. You got to stop disrespecting champions, man. For example, when the Heat won, I wasn't a big Miami Heat fan, but I wasn't going to say that they were lucky. I wasn't going to say it's because there was a shortened season. I thought the Thunder were going to beat them the first time, and I thought the Spurs were going to beat them that time, and the Spurs almost did. But none of that was luck. Stop saying that the Warriors were lucky. Just get that out of your head. Go back and revisit the games. Watch how they played. If they didn't win the NBA title, that would have just been a mockery. That's like the '96 Bulls going 72-10 and not winning the NBA championship. I mean, like everybody says, like the song says, it doesn't mean a thing if you don't win a ring, and the Warriors won it. So show some respect to the champions, man. Get the hate out of your system. It's not luck. There was no voodoo. There was no broomstick. There was he was unhealthy. Yes, the guys were unhealthy. Yeah, but that's not the Warriors' fault. That's not the Warriors' fault. Stop insinuating that. The title was legitimate. That's all I have to say about that. You know, if you feel differently or you want to add to that, comment below. This is Hoops Junction. Vladimir here. This is where hoops meets hoopla. And today, we decided that the hoops is bigger than the hoopla. Peace.